Hi, everyone. Welcome to our virtual resident town hall meeting. In this meeting, Teresa, Sibby, Joey, and Lisa will be recording segments, and we'll have two special videos that were recorded by associates as well. I wanted to give you an update. We are still working with Captain Blackhurst on recording a segment for a town hall meeting regarding emergency evacuation of the building. Sibby continually works with him on his schedule, and we just haven't been able to work out a day or time for Sibby to go meet him and record his presentation. But it will happen as soon as he has some availability. I wanted to give an update on the vaccine clinics. So independent living and assisted living and memory care have both had their first vaccine clinic. Their second vaccine clinics are scheduled over the next 2 weeks. Plaza West has held their first and second vaccine clinics. They will have a third, which will just be the booster vaccine for those who received the first shot at the second clinic. Both residents and employees are encouraged to get the vaccine, but it is not a requirement. We have provided opportunities for employees to ask questions about the vaccine, and some have actually recorded testimonials to encourage their fellow coworkers to receive the vaccine, and you're going to see that as part of this town hall meeting as well. Ultimately, we view this as a private healthcare choice, and we cannot disclose who has received or not received the vaccine. Despite whether you have the vaccine or you don't, we will continue using personal protective equipment well beyond the vaccinations, and that includes masks and gloves when necessary, and even more protective equipment in the higher levels of care, assisted living, memory care, and Plaza West Health Center. I want to thank you for your continued understanding as we've made a lot of tough decisions over the last 10 months. You all have been so supportive of me and the rest of the Freedom Plaza management team, and we really appreciate it. We're making good strides at getting somewhat back to normal with the vaccines, but we still have a pretty long road ahead of us, but we do appreciate you being very understanding of the challenges we face every day. And I'm going to turn it over to our other presenters.
Hi, everyone. Good to be back on Town Hall video. I wish we would be up in the auditorium and see each other. But you know, we're in the home stretch now of doing this, which is exciting. And we have a lot of information to share with you, or I have a lot of information to share with you today from the dining department. So we're going to dive right into it. One of the first things I'd like to talk about is the American Grill. With the help of our Dining Services Committee and our American Grill Subcommittee and Rocco Nanarella, we met a month and a half ago, and we talked about the grill signage boxes that were located outside the grill, and we have 3 located inside the grill. And, there was a need for us to promote some of our items in the grill and our hours of operation, and also, how to contact the grill and our portal and all the new ways that we have to order in the American Grill and our new pickup procedures. So we enlisted the help of a familiar friend, Debbie Frost, who did all the design work for us. Based on the recommendations that were made to us by the American Grill Committee. And we want to thank Rocco for his partnership on that. We do have our signs available are up now for display if you can go down and take a look. It's just nice friendly reminders about our rotisserie chickens that are available every Tuesday, and you can pre-order those on the portal or you can call in. We have our turkey dinner, which is available every Thursday night, which is a Freedom favorite. That's just a reminder up there as well. And breakfast all day. Who doesn't like breakfast all day, right? Also, and our daily breakfast specials, which are available from 7:30 to 10:30. So I think that's been a really great addition to the grill. We've actually had additional orders for our rotisserie chickens since we put that up last week. So I see that you all are responding well to them. So again, thank you to that team for helping us with that. We also have some fun menus coming up. Chef Chris has been in the kitchen really putting his head together, coming up with some really great menus. On February 7th will be, that Tampa's hosting the Super Bowl. Go Bucks. And we're excited to have a tailgate menu available for you for in-room dining that day. Chris is going to be doing pizzas. He's getting in the pizza business. We're going to do 6-inch personal pan pizzas. I know he has pizza boxes he's going to be putting them in. We're going to do a sausage and pepperoni pizza, veggie, and a cheese pizza. So you can choose between those three. We're also going to offer chicken wings that day, a barbecue pulled pork sandwich, Cuban, nice pressed Cuban, and we also have salmon on the menu available as well for those who do not want to partake in the tailgate menu. And we're also going to be sending something to you on Friday prior to, so then you can have while you're watching the Super Bowl. We'll leave that as a surprise. We also have in February is Black History Month, and traditionally we promote and do menus for Black History Month on Thursdays in the Maui Buffet, but we needed to really come together with a plan this year on how we can do that and still promote and support Black History Month. And Chris has decided that every Thursday on our in-room dining menus, one of our meal options will be a composed plate. And what a composed plate is, it has an entree, a starch, and a vegetable. And when you choose that, you're choosing all of those items. And he's going to do some fun meals for Mardi Gras, which is Fat Tuesday. We're going to be doing crawfish etouffee. He's also going to spotlight on some other Thursdays, oxtails, smothered pork chops, and Chef Chris's famous fried chicken. I say that because we all love it. And we're going to be doing that through the month of February. And also in February, we have Valentine's Day, which lands on a Sunday this year. A nice special menu for Valentine's Day. We're going to start off with a lobster bisque. We are going to, our entrees that we're going to be featuring are coquille Saint-Jacques, which is a nice sea scallop and a nice cheese bechamel sauce, braised veal shanks in wine sauce, and a pistachio crusted chicken with a bacon and Gouda cheese. So he's been hard at work coming up with those great menus. This is the home stretch. We just have a couple more weeks to get through, and then we'll be reopening our dining room on February 22nd. And as you all know by now, the decision to close the dining rooms in December came off of some COVID positive residents and associates that we had. But the decision to keep the dining rooms closed were based on a meeting that we had with our own resident dining COVID committee that we formed prior to getting out of phase 2 in the dining room. And we thought that it was important for us to discuss all of the measures that we needed to take to reopen. And we also had Lisa Frank at that meeting, as well as Angie at that meeting. And it was determined that, as a vote was taken, to reopen or wait 2 weeks post the second vaccine clinic, which would be February 22nd, so that a majority of our residents would be covered and be vaccinated and possibly more comfortable coming down to the dining room. So where we're at right now is, like I said, I keep saying home stretch because we're all excited. We finally have, an end date as far as knowing that, like, once we can get out of this this closed down quarantine that we have now, that we'll be in the dining rooms more, and we'll be able to see your faces more. Some things that we want to go, or that I want to touch on today, is on the 22nd. Right now, we look like we're going to be opening exactly the same as we closed. 50% capacity, reservation only, in-room dining, pickup, lunch and dinner. Now, LCS is also working on the plans for what a reopening means post-vaccine for us and for each individual community. So, the big thing is that we want to know is, when can we be at 100% capacity? When will guests be allowed back into the dining room? When we get that information and it's been confirmed and everyone's approved it, then we will pass that on to you. The one thing that we do know is, moving forward post-vaccine, in the new norm that we have, we will be moving towards a reservation-based dining program, which those that have been coming down in the first phase 1 and phase 2 understand the process, and it worked out very, very well. Those that are going to be new to joining us in the dining room, if you are not set up on the portal, we encourage you to call Jennifer or Tanya, or go on the RAC Rep page, and you can access our dining portal through there as well. And we can walk you through the reservation process. us. Ron Sweet has been very helpful with that as well to help us to get residents comfortable with using that program. So the last piece of the puzzle is that we do need to get one more survey out to you. It's a super small survey this time. It's just going to say, it's going to be like 3 questions. And the one major question is, you have to choose if you're going to be dining in the dining room post-vaccine or if you're going to be continuing to dine in your apartment. Chef Chris and I like to plan accordingly to what your needs are, and we would like to get a percentage breakdown of who will be coming back to the dining room and who will be remaining in their apartment. We hope to see you all back to the dining room, and we're making accommodations to make sure that everyone can get down and feel safe in the dining room. So we do hope to see you soon, and we look forward to sharing all of our wonderful menus with you coming up this month. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out, stop by the office, email, call, but we definitely look forward to seeing you soon. And remember, we just got a couple more weeks left, and then we'll hopefully get back to some sense of normal, right? All right. Bye.
Hello guys, welcome to this week's installment of the Video Town Hall. Wanted to touch on a few topics. One really good news that we have is we've gotten our approved budget for major capital projects. And just to touch on some of those, for here at the IL building, we're going to be doing a regrading project in the front of the building, which is going to help with our drainage. Especially around the front apartments and the very front of the building. We know where a lot of the standing water and it holds there. We're going to be regrading and redoing all that landscaping. So that's something to look forward to. Another project that was approved was our golf cart renovation. So many of you have made comments that the golf cart area is in well need of a deep and major renovation. So we got approval, got a budget for that. So now my goal is working with about 3 different contractors on how we can accomplish that. The biggest factor over there, number 1, is tidiness and cleanliness. So storage units will be removed, the ones that are there. We're going to be installing new ones. It'll be somewhat of a locker type system. But then the next biggest factor, more than lockers, is safety, and that's electrical safety. So all the conduit is going to be pulled out. All the lighting is going to be pulled out. Outlets will be pulled out. We'll have new panels installed, electrical panels, breakers, new conduit, and this is going to serve all the covered parking. We're going to have new lighting and also new outlets and also some storage units just to house the charging units. So as I get more details, we'll lay that out and explain that a little bit more in detail. Also, moving down the campus over at our healthcare center at Plaza West, we got approved for a full interior renovation. So initially what that looks like is new flooring, removing the existing carpet, putting down some vinyl flooring or some type of a hard surface, also new furniture, new wall decorations, painting the walls, of course, new handrails, and also new ceiling tiles. And that's just the initial scope. Once we do a good walkthrough, we will put together a more detailed scope. But this year is looking like we're going to have a very productive year as far as projects go. Of course, here at the Plaza building, we are still working on our elevator project. I believe in the memo, Angie mentioned that we have some behind-the-scenes work going on in the electrical rooms and elevator equipment room. The electrician has started this past Saturday. They ran new lights in the elevator equipment rooms, and one thing that he was able to do is actually run a new circuit underground. They were able to pull an old wire that connected our generators to the elevators. Now when I say pulled a wire out, there was a control wire that was not being used, so they were able to tie the new control wires and actually pull underground from one side of the building where the generator transfer switch is back to the BC side elevator equipment room. So that's actually shaved off in the electrician's time frame about a good week to 2 weeks of work that he does not have to do. So we've already saved some time frame there, which is great. The remaining of that project, which is the cabs and all of what Thyssen is involved in, we're looking to start still in March. So once we get closer, we can get more of a time frame and a schedule of how that's going to break down, and then we can, lay that out for you all. But again, look forward to that. We're going to need a lot of cooperation and patience from you guys, as there will be times where at the most one elevator will be down, and I'd like to promise that's going to be the worst, but there may be times where we may have more. But initially, we only want to keep one elevator down at a time. Moving to another topic, our gazebo that is been planned in cooperation with ROC. They've funded that, and they've really helped motivate and push that along. It is being built at this time. The week of February 8th is when it is scheduled to be at the site in Tampa. Once they have it at the site, we'll go and take a look, make sure everything's exactly to spec and how we want it. Just met yesterday with the concrete contractor who's going to be pouring a nice concrete walkway. It's going to be about 5, possibly 6 feet wide is what I'm shooting for. That way we can have decent walker access, and at least have 2 people walking down the sidewalk if needed. So we'll have the walkway to the gazebo and possibly 1 step to get up to the gazebo. And then once it's placed, we've already cleared out the landscaping, but we may add some landscaping. We're going to add a concrete pad to, at some point we may do some events, so we'll put a grill over there and we can have a little cookout as well. So there's some future planning for future events at that location that we can look forward to. I know some residents have already enjoyed gathering next to our friend the frog, and that was really a good sight to see. It's happy to see that, and it's nice to see residents, getting together and still enjoying the outdoors, and that's what the gazebo is really intended to do. So look forward to that, and I appreciate, working with ROC and working with the different residents in getting that accomplished. One topic that's really come up quite a bit now, especially in these colder winter months, I've noticed some residents have brought up to my attention mold in their apartments. And this mold is formulating more around windows. Windows in the bedroom, living room, and sometimes in the lanai. From my research and really from my experience with mold, and many of you may understand this as well, mold really develops in more humid, wet locations. And of course in Florida, we're wet, we're humid. So it's hard to control that humidity, but it can be done. In apartments, and especially interior areas, we want to try to keep our relative humidity between 50 to 60% at most. What I'm finding in some of the apartments, because right now it's colder outside, the heat is being set at possibly 77, 76, 78, and a lot of times the heat may run, but then there's no air movement when that heat's off. So once we get no air movement, that humidity level rises, you get stagnant air, and when it's hot, humid air inside and cold air outside, condensation develops on the windows, and that in turn will start to develop mold growth. So one way we can combat that, you can all purchase, just to keep an eye on your humidity levels, you can purchase, I think for less than $10 on Amazon. It's just a thermometer and a humidity gauge, a digital gauge, and keep that in your apartment. But if we can set, our thermostats at no higher than 75 for cool and even 72 for heat, that would help. Now, what's going to happen is your apartment's going to feel colder. You're not going to feel comfortable. So, and I understand that, but if we can do that, and then you'll see your humidity level actually start to drop, that's going to help with this issue that we're having. Another option that I'm looking into with it's an actual mold vendor, a contractor that does testing. What they've suggested and what we've also heard from our HVAC contractor is possibly installing dehumidifiers in some of the apartments. I'm not sure right now what the cost of that is, but I am looking into that, so I'll have more information on that aspect. But also going back to your AC, it is very important that we have air movement going on in your apartment. That way you have no stagnant air, and also the AC, make sure the AC is working properly. If you have any suspicion that the AC is not working properly, please notify the maintenance department immediately. so that we can have that checked out. It could be anything from the filter needs to be changed, or there could be a leak in the coil, and it may feel like it's cooling, but just that slight leak in the coil, some refrigerant could be leaking out, and the temperature may not be getting as low as it could across the coil to reduce and take the humidity out of the air. So there's a lot to it, but in a nutshell, and to be real simple, mold grows with humidity. So if you have no air movement, your humidity is going to rise and it's going to start developing. But again, please let us know immediately as soon as you can so that we can try to mitigate it and get ahead of it to get it removed. Again, reach out to myself, Lavinia, or even the front desk if you have to, and they'll get a hold of us, and we'll make sure to get to your apartment as quickly as we can and figure out exactly what the source is. But again, if you have any questions, concerns regarding that, please reach out and don't ever hesitate to call. You can call my cell phone, email me anytime, and then we can get it figured out. But that's all I have as of now, and look forward to our next time. Thank you guys. Stay safe and be healthy.
Hi, my name is Joey Minjone. I'm the Director of Financial Services, and I'm here to talk to you about our December financial results. We had 8 closes in December, a total of 13 sales for the quarter and 40 for 2020. So we're off budget by about 10, but we also had less move-outs. So overall, things went well for sales. Our revenues for the community were $229,000 under budget for the month. Our occupancy in IL, we averaged 395 on a budget of 389.9. We ended the month at 399, so that was really great. Total IL revenues were $77,000 below budget. We had some misses related to COVID-19, guest meals, guest rooms, outside catering, things like that caused us to miss revenue for the month and for the year. Assisted living occupancy was 68.5 on a budget of 77. We ended the month at 73, so we were off by about $20,000 in revenue. We picked that back up in January, so we turned that around. Memory care occupancy was 25 on a budget of 26.3, and we exceeded revenues there by $9,000. And our skilled nursing occupancy was 81.4 on a budget of 106.7, which all year long we've been missing that because of COVID. Our capacity is lower because of infection control and having to use different rooms for isolation. So we haven't been able to bring up our capacity there. So we've been off there on revenue and in census. We do see improvements there in January, so things are turning around there as well. Overall, skilled nursing revenues were off by $184,000 due to that lower occupancy. On the expense side, we were $196,000 favorable to budget on expenses. We had a positive year-to-date adjustment for insurance related to some liability premiums and claims. And we also had a positive adjustment to bad debt expense. Our wages and benefits are $74,000 favorable to budget, and non-wage expenses were $123,000 favorable to budget, and that was primarily because of that insurance adjustment. We did have a couple departments that were over budget for the month. Maintenance was one. There were some generator maintenance expenses and some other unanticipated expenses for the month. And then dining had some additional costs related to opening the dining room, which we were able to do that early in the month, but then we had to close it again. So that resulted in us having to buy more disposable plates. So December was not a good month for dining because of the opening and closing of the dining room. And we expect that to continue until we reopen the dining room in February. Overall, our COVID-related expenses were about $100,000 for the month. So for the year, we were off budget by about $2 million. But for the month, we actually had a good month. Net operating incomes of $464,000 on a budget of $498,000. The year wasn't the best year, but it was a really challenging year with COVID in 2020, but we do see things turning around in 2021. So thank you.
Hi everyone, it's Lisa Frank, the Resident Services Director at Freedom Plaza. I just want to talk about a few things with you today. First being our COVID vaccine clinic. I do want to thank everyone that helped to make it a huge success. We had a lot of resident volunteers and other staff members that helped, and I think it went very well. The second date is scheduled for February 8th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The time slots will be exactly the same, so I will be sending it out again, but just another reminder to bring your vaccination card when you come in. I have sent out paperwork to some residents requesting Medicare numbers. This is for the ones that we need for the second round. I only gave it to the ones that we didn't already have it in the system. And also I'd like to thank all the residents again for their comments, calls, emails, and cards that were given. It was very much appreciated. Thank you. Secondly, I had a couple of concerns addressed versus us calling 911 versus Sun City Emergency Center Squad. So upon arrival, the EMT, they will assess the situation in the apartment, call 911 or the Sun City Center Emergency Squad. There are parameters, according to their assessment, that are outside of the ability of the squad to transport, so 911 must be called at that point. There are some situations that 911 will call Sun City Squad to take over, but that is outside of our call, so we ask for them to do that. If there's any other specific concerns, don't ever hesitate to call me, and we can talk about it. It's just between what the parameters that were given to us. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emma. I am the business office coordinator at our assisted living building, and I've had the pleasure of working with this company for almost 13 years. And one of the things that I pride myself is kindness. You know, whatever you can do to help somebody, I think you should always do it. And the way that things have been going with the virus, everything is confusing and uncertain, but something is certain, and there's something that we can all do to make our future a little bit brighter and a little bit back to normal, which is one of the reasons why I got the vaccine. I not only did it for myself, but for the residents that I care so much for, my family, my friends, and healthcare workers worldwide. So if you can, I would definitely suggest getting it. It feels good to help your fellow neighbor and to spread some kindness. So yeah.
Hi, I'm a nurse at Plaza West, and I'm a COVID survivor. I was sick for 5 weeks during July. That's the reason I received my COVID vaccine back in December. I did not have any reactions, only a little soreness on my arm. I encourage everybody to get it. I took the vaccine because I don't want to get sick again, and to protect my coworkers, my family, and my residents.